All right, strap in, everyone, because today we are going deep on screenwriting.
Yeah.
And not just with anyone.
Wow.
We're going with a master, Haavard Hana.
Absolutely.
And, we've got our hands on some really special stuff here.
We do.
We've got lecture notes from, like, his legendary master class, the kind of things that film students would probably, like, pass around like sacred scrolls.
We're like gold. Yeah.
And honestly, there's some absolute gold in here. Stuff about, like,
Absolutely.
how to create stories that just, like, grab you, characters that feel like they jump off the screen.
Yeah, they're so real.
And dialogue, man.
Oh, yeah.
Dialogue that just crackles with energy.
Yeah. It's electric.
But it's funny.
It's
Hana starts off with something kind of surprising.
Oh, really?
He basically says that, like, whether you're writing a screenplay, a novel,
right,
or even just, like, figuring out your own life, the structure of a good story is the same.
It is. It's universal.
Okay, so we're talking about, like, that classic beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
But you know me.
Uh-oh.
I bet there's more to it.
Of course there is. He goes deeper, like way deeper.
Okay.
He talks about this 3-act structure.
Okay.
And get this. He gives us the page counts.
Oh, wow.
That are basically like the holy grail in Hollywood.
Right.
Act 1, the setup, you got to nail it in the first 30 pages.
Okay.
Act 2, the confrontation, that's page 30 to 90.
Got it.
And finally, resolution, that's Act 3, page 90 to 120.
I got to be honest.
Yeah.
I always thought those, like, page counts were just, like,
Just like some made-up rule.
Yeah. Like, just random.
Oh, right?
But knowing there's, like, a real reason behind them,
Yeah.
it makes me, like, want to grab my script right now and start,
Start marking it up.
yeah, like, figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just about hitting those numbers. It's that each act has a purpose. It builds the story.
Okay.
It keeps everyone hooked.
Right.
Act 1, that's where you set the stage, introduce everyone, the characters, show us the problem, the conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
Act 2, that's where stuff gets real.
Okay.
Stakes are higher, there's obstacles everywhere, and it's all building to that climax.
Oh, I see.
And then Act 3, that's where we land.
Right.
We tie up all those loose ends, give everyone a satisfying ending.
So we've got this blueprint.
Yeah.
This 3-act structure. But where do we start with the story itself?
Right.
Like, where do we even begin?
Okay, well, Hana says one of the most important things is to picture your character.
Yeah.
Before the story even starts.
Oh.
What were they doing, like, a week ago? A day?
Okay, yeah.
Even an hour before that thing happens, that throws their whole life upside down.
What do you call it?
The inciting incident.
Yes, the inciting incident.
Exactly.
Wow, I never thought of it like that.
I know. It's a cool way to think about it.
It's like you're adding this whole other layer to their backstory.
Exactly.
Like, we get to see who they were before, before everything changed.
Yeah. Like, think about Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
The hobbits, they're just chilling in the Shire.
Right, right.
No clue about, like, the dark forces out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Then Gandalf rolls up with that ring.
Ooh.
Their world is flipped.
It's like that before picture.
Yeah.
It makes the after so much more, like...
Powerful.
Yeah. Powerful.
Totally. We see what they stand to lose, what they're fighting for.
I like that.
And here's where things get interesting.
Oh, good.
Hana gives us 9 different ways to open a story.
9.
9? It's like he's saying, chuck the rule book.
Wow.
Be creative.
Oh, yeah.
There's no one right way to do this.
All right, you got to give me a sneak peek.
Oh, okay.
I'm already hooked.
So you've got your traditional opening, where we see a character growing up, like a coming-of-age story.
Right, right.
Then there's the visual opening, where you start with an image, something that just sets the whole mood, like that shot of the chair in Juno.
Ah, yeah.
So simple, but iconic.
Yeah, totally.
And then there's character-driven,
Okay.
where you meet the main character right away, and you get a sense of what they need.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in 500 Days of Summer, where we meet Tom.
Right.
He's desperate for love. And then there's Summer, who's just not into it.
I'm starting to see how these different openings can, like, really shape the whole story,
Totally.
It's not just about grabbing our attention. It's setting the stage for everything that comes after.
Exactly. And those are just 3.
Oh, wow.
We have 6 more.
We've got 6 more to go.
6 more, yeah.
Okay. All right. Before we go too deep into those 9 ways, let's talk about the characters themselves.
Okay.
What makes a character really compelling?
Yeah.
Is it just about making them likable?
Hana would say it's way more than that.
Okay.
He talks about dramatic need.
Dramatic need.
And this is where it gets a little,
Complicated.
Yeah, a little complicated.
Huh.
It's not just about what the character wants on the surface.
So it's more than like wanting to win a race or something.
Exactly.
Or find buried treasure.
Yeah, there's something deeper.
Okay.
The driving force, the thing they may not even realize they need.
So a character might think they want one thing.
Yes.
But deep down, they need something totally different.
Exactly. And that conflict, that struggle,
Okay.
that's what makes them so interesting.
Right.
Think about Schindler's List.
Okay.
Schindler, he starts out just wanting to make a profit.
Right, yeah.
But as he sees the horrors of what's happening,
Yeah.
his need shifts.
Okay.
He becomes desperate to save lives.
Wow, that's a powerful example.
It is. It's not just a want anymore. It's a need.
Right.
It changes him completely.
Right.
Yeah.
And to really get our characters, Hana says we need to look at their point of view.
Their point of view.
Their beliefs, their values versus their attitude, like how they react to things.
So their point of view is like their worldview.
Yeah,
exactly. Their attitude is more like their outward behavior.
Exactly. Like in Titanic, Rose, at first, she's all about duty, obeying the rules, but then she meets Jack.
Right.
And her point of view starts to change.
I see, yeah.
She starts to question everything.
Right.
And embrace what she truly wants.
That's such a relatable struggle,
It is. It's that battle between what we're told to do and what our heart wants.
And to really get inside their heads.
Yeah.
Hana says we should make like a character biography.
Right. Get detailed, their past, their relationships, all their defining moments.
Right.
He even talks about this circle of being thing.
Where you focus on any traumas they might have had, between 13 and 20.
So it's like we have to get kind of nosy.
A little bit, yeah.
Really dig deep to see what makes them tick.
Yeah, it's about empathy, really.
Okay.
The more we understand them,
right, the
more real they become on the page.
Okay.
And that's what makes their stories so powerful.
I like that.
Yeah. And once you've got those characters, you got to give them voices.
That's right, right.
Hana, he's really clear about this. Every line of dialogue, it's got to have a purpose.
Okay.
It has to move the story forward or tell us something about the character.
So it can't just be there for filler.
No filler allowed.
Every word has to earn its place.
He actually compares writing dialogue to music, like composing a song.
Oh, wow.
Every line's got a rhythm.
Okay.
A melody.
Yeah.
And it's all part of the bigger symphony of the story.
I like that. So it's not just what they're saying, it's how they're saying it.
Exactly. And Hana breaks it down, gives us like 9 types of dialogue.
The 9 types of
You've got exposition, that's the groundwork,
right.
Setting the scene.
Yeah.
Then there's this thing he calls playing against the grain.
What's that?
Where the character says something you totally don't expect.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, there's subtext. That's where what's not said is the most powerful.
Right, like those silent moments.
Yeah.
That can be more intense than any shouting match.
Exactly. Think about No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
So much of that tension comes from the stuff they don't say.
Yeah.
The threats just hang in there.
Right. You can like feel the danger, but it's not like.
Yeah, it's unspoken.
Yeah.
And then there's reflection.
Okay.
Where the dialogue, it reveals what's going on inside the character.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have a moment of self-discovery,
Right. Like we're getting a peek into their soul.
Exactly. Think of like Good Will Hunting. When Will finally breaks down, faces his past.
Man, those scenes are so powerful.
Yeah.
So raw.
And then Hana talks about this film as behavior thing.
What's that?
Where the dialogue isn't the main thing.
Okay.
It's more about how they react,
Oh, okay.
Through their actions, their expressions.
Right, like in Lost in Translation?
Yeah, with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson.
It's like they have this whole other language going on.
Exactly. It's all about those little moments, the unspoken stuff.
Oh, I love that.
And then, of course, you got to have conflict.
Yeah. Right.
Confrontation. That's where the dialogue really heats things up.
Right.
Courtroom showdowns, arguments between lovers.
Ooh, yeah. Those are good.
Those are the juicy ones.
Like a verbal fencing match?
Exactly. Back and forth, each line sharper than the last.
Oh, I love those.
And we can't forget about voiceover narration.
Right.
Think Fight Club.
Okay.
With Edward Norton's character giving us his take on everything.
Yeah.
That cynical, detached voice.
It's like we're right inside his head.
Totally. We see the world through his eyes.
I like that.
Then there's the theory of elimination thing.
Okay, this is a new one.
Yeah, so it's what other characters say about the main character.
Yeah.
That's how we learn about them.
Oh, I see.
Think of The Godfather.
Yeah.
We learn so much about Don Corleone.
Yeah.
From the way others talk about him, his power, his reputation.
Right. It's like building him up through the eyes of others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, Hana reminds us, sometimes the most powerful thing is silence.
Oh, wow.
Like in The Artist.
Okay.
A whole movie with almost no dialogue.
Right.
But those looks, those gestures, they say everything.
It's a good reminder that sometimes less is more.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered story structure, character development, dialogue.
All the good stuff.
Now comes the part...
the scary part.
Yeah, the part a lot of writers dread.
Oh, yeah.
Rewriting.
Yeah, that can be tough.
I've got to admit, it's my least favorite part.
Really?
Feels like starting all over again sometimes.
Oh, no, right?
And I get so lost in the details I lose sight of, like...
The big picture. Yeah. The big picture.
But Hana gives us some really helpful tips.
Okay, good.
To make it less scary.
I can use that.
He says, start by asking yourself some questions.
Like what?
Is the story working? Is there enough action? Is the main character's need clear?
Okay.
Does the dialogue sound real?
So it's about taking a step back, looking at the whole thing before you get into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly.
Right.
And then he says, just read it through.
Okay.
No notes, just experience it.
This is where I usually go crazy with the pen.
I know, right?
But I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
Get out of your writer's head, see it with fresh eyes.
Exactly.
And this is where I got a little skeptical.
Oh.
Hana says to write 3 essays about your script.
3 essays?
3.
That sounds intense.
It does.
Okay, but hear me out.
The first essay, it's about where the story came from, your inspiration.
Okay.
What themes you wanted to explore.
So reconnect with that initial spark.
Yeah, exactly.
That got you writing in the first place.
The second essay, that's about the story you actually wrote.
Okay.
How does it compare to what you imagined?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did it go in different directions?
Right.
Did new characters pop up?
So it's about being honest about the strengths and weaknesses of what you have now.
And then the third essay, that's where you bridge the gap.
Between the first 2.
Yeah. It's where you lay out the changes to get the final draft closer to your original vision.
I'm starting to see how those essays could be helpful.
I know, right?
It's not just random rewriting anymore.
Right.
It's like having a roadmap.
Yeah, plan of attack.
And then once you've done all that, Hana says, focus on those first 10 pages.
Oh, yeah, those are crucial.
Why are they so important?
Well, think about it. Those first 10 pages, that's your chance to hook the reader, the viewer.
Right.
Introduce the main players, set the tone, get that conflict going.
It's like the first impression.
Exactly. You got to make it count.
And if you don't, Hana says the ending might not work.
Yeah.
Because the setup wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, it's like the beginning and the end. They're tied together.
I never thought about it that way.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then in Act 2, it's all about that midpoint and that second turning point.
Right.
These mini climaxes that keep things moving.
Those are the moments where, stakes get higher, new challenges pop up, and the story takes those unexpected turns.
Exactly. Like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You got to keep building that momentum.
Keep people on the edge of their seats.
And then in Act 3, it's all about delivering.
Right.
Making sure the resolution fulfills everything you set up.
Right.
Leaving the audience feeling satisfied.
But it's not just about wrapping things up neatly.
No, it's got to be meaningful.
Yeah.
It has to resonate.
Right.
And once you've got all that in place, Hana says, polish, polish, polish.
Okay.
Sharpen that dialogue, refine those characters, tighten the action.
Like taking a rough diamond.
Yeah.
And cutting it.
Yeah.
Polishing it.
Until it shines.
I like that analogy.
What I love about Hana's approach,
yeah,
he doesn't make rewriting seem like a chore.
Right.
He sees it as a chance to explore, to experiment, to make discoveries.
Yeah. It's about embracing the process.
Yeah.
Knowing that's how the story really comes alive.
Exactly. Now, remember those 9 ways to open a story?
Oh, yeah. Those 9 ways.
I think it's time we dig into those a little deeper.
Yes. I was hoping we'd get back to that.
Each one offers such a different way to start. Set the mood, introduce the characters.
Hook the audience?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's start with the traditional opening, where we see a character growing up.
Like those coming-of-age stories.
Yeah.
Like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Exactly.
Stand By Me.
Yeah, we see the world through their eyes as they grow, as they learn.
It's a classic for a reason.
It is. It's timeless, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the visual opening.
Okay.
Where it's all about that image, that striking visual.
Like the chair in Juno.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
But so effective.
Sets the tone right away.
It does. And then we have the character-driven opening.
Okay.
Where it's all about introducing the main character. Showing us their need.
Right.
Like in 500 Days of Summer, Tom and Summer, they're conflicting desires.
Right from the start, we get it.
Yeah.
We see the challenges ahead.
Exactly. Classic rom-com setup. But it can work in any genre, really.
Okay.
As long as the character's journey is at the heart of it.
Makes sense.
And then there's the action-driven opening.
Ooh.
This is where you throw the audience right into the action. Okay. Like high stakes right from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
Think The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Okay.
Opens with that brutal murder.
Right.
And it just pulls you right in.
Grabs you by the throat.
Exactly. Immediate tension.
Yeah, yeah.
The stakes are clear from the first frame.
I love that.
And then there's voiceover.
Oh, right.
Where the character's narration sets the stage.
Yeah.
Like in American Beauty, Kevin Spacey's voice, so cynical.
Yeah, yeah.
But also darkly funny.
Yeah.
It sets the tone perfectly.
It's like we're in his head.
Exactly. We see the world through his eyes.
Cool.
And then there's what Hana calls the stylized contemporary action opening.
Okay. What's up?
It's often like a really visually cool action sequence, you know?
Okay.
To show off the character's skills.
Right.
Like how they operate.
Okay.
Think of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith opens with that crazy action scene.
Right, yeah.
Introduces them as these awesome assassins.
Yeah.
But they don't even know about each other yet.
Oh, that's right.
It's all style and energy. It just pulls you right in.
Yeah.
Then we have the Circle of Being opening.
Okay, back to that.
Yeah. This one focuses on a traumatic event.
Okay.
Something that really shaped the character.
Right.
Like In the Lookout.
Okay.
Where we see Chris Pratt's character get a brain injury.
Right, yeah.
From that car accident, which leads him to that bank robbery.
It's like we see his vulnerability right away.
Exactly. And how that past trauma shaped who he is.
It makes you instantly connect with him.
It does. And then there's the inciting incident opening.
Okay.
Where it's all about that one event.
Yeah.
That throws everything off balance.
Right.
Like, think about Lord of the Rings again.
Okay.
Gandalf shows up. Frodo gets the ring.
Boom. Everything changes.
The Shire's peaceful life.
Yeah, right. It's a classic way to start a story.
It is. You establish the normal, then disrupt it.
Right.
Forces the character to act.
I see.
And finally, we have the nonlinear opening.
Okay.
This one jumps around in time,
Okay.
maybe starts in the middle, or even the end.
Right.
And then flashes back to fill in the gaps.
Like the hours.
Exactly. It's tricky.
Yeah.
But when it works, it's so cool.
Keeps you guessing.
Yeah, you're trying to piece it all together.
Well, I like that.
And the cool thing is, Hana encourages us to try all these techniques.
Oh, wow.
Experiment, play around, see what works for your story.
So it's about finding the right opening that fits your characters, your themes, and your overall goal.
And, you know, it makes me think these principles, they could apply to more than just screenwriting.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is storytelling 101.
Right.
Whether it's a novel, a short story, a play.
Even just a conversation.
Exactly. It's about how to structure a narrative.
Right.
How to create characters we care about.
Yeah.
And use dialogue to keep people engaged.
I love that.
So for everyone listening, keep these principles in mind as you tell your own stories.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
Break the rules. And most importantly, keep learning, keep growing as a storyteller.
Because at the end of the day, we're all storytellers.
We are.
We all have stories to tell.
But the world needs to hear them.
That's a great point.
Before we move on to our final thoughts, we want to hear from you.
Yes. Our listeners.
Which of these openings have you seen work well?
Right.
In movies, in books?
Yeah.
What other ways to start a story have you come across?
Share your thoughts with us.
Yeah, on our website, on social media.
We love hearing your perspectives.
Yeah, and keep this conversation going.
About the art of storytelling.
Exactly.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been exploring the mind of Haavard Hana.
Yeah, uncovering all these screenwriting secrets.
It's like he's giving us cheat codes to, like, you know.
I know, right? To crafting these amazing stories.
But it's not just about the technical stuff, is it?
No, not at all. Hana, he keeps coming back to this idea.
Yeah.
That storytelling, it's about connecting with something deeper.
Right, like something universal.
Exactly.
That's what makes it so powerful, you know?
Yeah.
Whether it's a movie, a book, or even just someone telling you a story, you know?
Right, like over coffee.
A good story, it just makes you feel things.
It does.
It makes you think. It makes you see the world differently.
And Hana believes anyone can do it.
Really?
Yeah. He says it's not some, like, magical gift. It's a craft.
Right.
And like any craft, it takes practice,
Okay.
patience, and a willingness to keep learning.
That's actually really encouraging. Sometimes I think like you have to be born with it.
Right. Like you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, yeah. But Hana makes it seem
more attainable.
Yeah, like something you can actually work towards.
Exactly. He breaks it down into these like steps.
Right.
Gives you tools and techniques.
Right.
And one of the most important things he says. Yeah.
Especially for new writers.
Okay.
Embrace rewriting.
I'm starting to see that, yeah.
It's not just about fixing errors.
Right.
It's about going deeper, making it better.
Right. Refining it.
Making sure everything works together to create that impact, you know?
I do. Yeah.
He says we need to shift our perspective from subjective, where we're too close to it, to objective.
So like seeing it with fresh eyes.
Exactly. Like you're reading it for the first time.
Those 3 essays we talked about.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get why he suggests those.
Yeah.
They force you to step outside of yourself.
Totally.
And look at your story from a new angle.
And then once you've done that, he says to focus on those first 10 pages.
Right. The make or break pages.
Exactly. That first impression, you know.
It's everything.
And remember, he says if the ending's not working, it's often because those first 10 pages, they weren't strong enough.
They need to set everything up. Yeah, introduce the characters, the conflict, the tone.
It's like the foundation of the whole thing.
Exactly. And then in Act 2, it's about that midpoint, that second turning point.
Right. Keep the momentum going.
Exactly. Like a roller coaster, got to keep it thrilling.
And then Act 3. We deliver on those promises we made.
Right. Give the audience that satisfying ending.
But it's not just about tying things up neatly.
No, it's got to be meaningful. Resonate with them.
Leave them thinking.
Exactly. And once all that's in place, Hana says, polish, polish, polish. Make that dialogue sing. Refine those characters. Tighten the action. Make every word count.
It's like taking a rough draft.
Yeah.
And turning it into a masterpiece.
Exactly. And what's so cool about Hana's approach, he doesn't make it seem like a chore, you know?
Right.
He sees it as a chance to discover, to refine, to deepen your understanding.
It's about embracing the process, you know? Knowing that's how the story really comes alive.
And, you know, as we wrap up this deep dive into Hana's world, it's important to remember, this isn't just for filmmakers.
Right, right.
Anyone can use these insights, whether you're writing a novel, a blog post.
Even an email.
Exactly. Understanding story, it makes you a better communicator.
So to everyone listening, take these principles, apply them to your own lives, to your own stories.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
Break the rules. Keep learning.
Because we're all storytellers, right?
We are. We all have stories to tell.
And the world needs to hear them.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you learned something.
Yeah, and maybe got a little inspired.
To go out there and tell your own stories.
Until next time.
Keep exploring.